By virtue of our baptism, every Catholic is called to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. Pope Francis tells us that it is truly our baptism that makes us missionaries and calls us to proclaim the gospel, announcing Jesus Christ to the world. Proclaiming the gospel is not just an initiative of individual believers or groups, but it is the Church's mission, inseparably united with her Lord. No Christian proclaims the gospel on his own, but is sent by the Church, who received the mandate from Christ himself. In the Gospel of St. Luke, Jesus sends his disciples 2 by 2 to the world to proclaim the good news. Like those first disciples, baptized Catholics are called to witness in the various environments of life the gospel of Jesus Christ as proclaimed and lived by the Church. The Church exists to evangelize. We must have the courage to continue to evangelize. The center of our mission must always be Christ.
Pope Francis often tells us that baptized Christians are called to the mission of the Church by leading others to an encounter with Jesus Christ, in order that every person might grow in his or her individual call to holiness. With deep gratitude for your partnership, the Archdiocese of Santa Fe offers many opportunities to encounter Jesus Christ through its ministries and services that are funded through the annual Catholic Appeal. Your generous contribution to these efforts directly impacts ministry work to the most marginalized in our Archdiocese. Your donations help clergy and lay ministers proclaim the gospel by serving the most vulnerable populations. Those struggling with addictions and the incarcerated are reminded of the gospel message of love and hope by trained ministers who provide a compassionate presence and a listening ear. People living with disabilities and the deaf community are provided the gospel message through meaningful liturgical celebration, retreats, and opportunities to build community. At-risk populations, such as youth, immigrants and refugees, Native Americans, the aged in nursing homes, the sick in hospitals, are nurtured, comforted, and provided guidance in their faith journey. Our ministries proclaim the gospel message with, as well as for them. Throughout the Archdiocese, children, youth, and adults from many backgrounds and life stages all are being formed in the Catholic faith. They are taught the gospel message for their own lives as disciples, are challenged to share that message, and often become lay leaders themselves. Jesus first showed us how to minister in Galilee. In Luke chapter 4, Jesus read from the scroll of the prophet Isaiah. In it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring glad tidings to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim a year acceptable to the Lord." He proclaimed his mission clearly, to seek the lost and to serve the least of those around him. Through your partnership, we continue to pursue this mission. As his followers, Christ invites each of us to share his message with others and to continue these good works. Your generosity allows his message of mercy and compassion to continue beyond your own homes and parish walls. You help the gospel be proclaimed throughout our communities. At the end of each Mass, we are challenged as Church to go forth beyond our comfort zones and out to the peripheries, to accompany the most broken among us, to give a message of hope and the possibility of peace.
As Catholics, we know the importance of the Eucharist in our lives, understanding that it truly is more blessed to give than to receive. We reach out with love and practice kindness and justice. At the end of each Mass, we are all sent to go forth and proclaim the gospel message. This was Jesus' final command to the 12 and to us today. The ministries and programs supported by the annual Catholic Appeal proclaim the call to holiness for all throughout our communities. And so, I ask for your generous support of the annual Catholic Appeal 2020. His mercy endures forever. Proclaim the gospel. Thank you for participating in proclaiming the gospel.